How are you guys doing? I'm live. Hey. So, I'm doing an impromptu Q&A. Yes. I didn't announce anything. I said, you know what? I need to show my face. So here I am. How are y'all doing tonight? Give me just a minute and we'll just get into the Q&A. If you have a question to help me look at them easier, since I should sort of fly in, put Q and then your question so that I know you have a question. And I will try to answer. Let's see, it's almost 9 o'clock. I'll try to stay on here for like 30 minutes. But we'll see if y'all even have questions for 30 minutes. You're blessed and highly favored. Amen. Same here. Okay. I have music playing on the thing. I don't even know if it's playing, but I'm going to cut it off so that I can focus. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, if you are a newsletter reader, wait. First, give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me okay. I have my mic off to the side. I didn't want it in the shot. So do a thumbs up or a smiley face or something to let me know if the audio is good. It's good? Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So if y'all are a newsletter reader, last week I said, I'm going to try holding myself to getting on live and doing a Q&A because y'all have a lot of questions. I do my absolute best to answer them in the comments, but, can't get to them all. So I'm going to try and, help y'all out, spend a little time together. Y'all haven't seen my face in a while, so I can't keep hiding. I got to show it sometimes. So what we'll do is I'll just answer the questions that come into the chat. And then I'll also, show y'all a couple of jobs that I saw. I didn't post a job today. I was very busy. So I said, let me get on here and I'll, try and answer some questions, share some jobs. We can just hang. Okay, so let me scroll back up and I'll start from the top and go down. So hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. It's Friday night. What are y'all doing on this Friday night, first of all? Okay, you ordered some pizza. You hanging out, you staying in. What are you doing on this Friday night? It was really cold today. So I tried my best to stay in, but I had to go out a few times. That's okay. I got a jacket. Okay, so first question I see. Oh, let me scroll down some more. I got my braces. I got my braces off in 2020, but you guys might see them make a comeback. I haven't been wearing my retainer and my teeth are jacked up. I'm for real. You can't really tell, but they've shifted. I haven't worn my retainer since I had my baby. It was just one thing that I did not want to bother with, and I'm paying for it. So I'm gonna learn my lesson. I will. Oh, thank you, Jay King J. You just bought my resume package. It's King J's talking about my courses where I teach about how to make your resume and cover letter for remote jobs. I also teach you how to find jobs. Okay. If you watch the workshop gives you a discount. It's only for the folks who watch the workshop. So if you want to learn how to make your resume and cover letter for remote jobs, you want to learn how to find these jobs, like I find these jobs every weekday, I give those who watch the workshop a discount. So I'm giving you info and then I'm giving you a discount on top of that. And yes, hit that like button. Yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay. So first question I see. Uh-oh, I went out. Let's not do these. There we go. I'm back. So the first question says, looking to land my first online job. Any tips? Oh, I could go on and on and on. The first tip is watch the workshop. The link is in the description box below because that workshop really does cover the basics of what you need to think about and the first steps of what you need to know. So if you're not sure what workshop am I talking about, it should be linked in this description box. I link it in all the description box of my videos, and it's the Ready to Work from Home workshop. So some of the things that I can get into right now with finding your first online job, you first need to decide what kind of job are you looking for. That's my first step. Not your resume, not finding these job sites and stuff. The first step is just narrowing down what is it that you want to do, because there's a lot of things you could do, a lot, and you want to have in your mind what kind of jobs are you okay with. So for example, maybe you've always done customer service work, and maybe you've always had a phone, glued to your ear. You need to decide before you start doing anything else. Like, do I want to do phone-based work, non-phone? Okay, if I'm okay with a phone, what kind of industries? Maybe you've always worked in retail. So like you're used to like clothes, like that kind of retail. So maybe you might want to try and find a job where it's phone-based and you're doing it for like a clothing store or something. You get the point. You just want to narrow down what it is that you're okay with doing. This is important because once you actually start looking for jobs, depending on if the fish are biting, if these companies are emailing you back or inviting you to like the first round of interviews, you'll start to you'll start to look at everything, and you'll start to think like, oh, that looks good because I need me a job. So you'll start applying to things that you're not really interested in, and you'll end up back at square one. So first step, decide what you want to do. And then the next step after you've decided that, I would start getting my resume together. And sometimes that actually is a process because you may not have updated your resume in a long time. So you might have to go back and find the job description of your most recent employment. Or maybe you never actually made like a resume. You just threw something together. I've seen I've seen that before where people are like, I never really tried to make one. I just sort of put something together. So you want to go back and get that stuff together if you need to and make a resume. And then you want to also practice making cover letters. I know that doesn't sound like fun, but when you are applying to these jobs, a tip that I will give y'all is you will have a much higher chance of landing an interview or an invite to another step, the next step, if you do a cover letter. And when you apply to these jobs, you can really get good at writing your cover letter pretty quickly, but you kind of got to practice that. So those are my recommendations for what you would want to do looking for your first online job. I said first, watch the workshop. Second, decide what you want to do. And then third, get your resume and cover letter together and practice, tailoring those two jobs. And then, go from there. So hopefully I answered that. I'll go to the next question. If you have a question, put Q in front of it just so it's easier for my eye to spot in the chat. Oh, someone said, I have two jobs that I work simultaneously because of you, Delilah. Thank you. Wow. I saw a video and I didn't watch it. I saw a thumbnail of a video where this guy was talking about working two remote jobs at the same time. I should have watched it or put it on my watch later, but I kept seeing it and I scrolled past it and now I haven't seen it in a while. But I'm actually interested in hearing, how does that work? Is it like full-time and part-time, or are you working two full-time jobs? Like, how are you doing that? I'd love to know. And congratulations. Okay, the next question I see here is, why do companies post the same job over and over again? Thanks. Okay, so there's a couple of reasons that I've seen this happen. So if you see a lead and you're like, okay, I see it, and then it goes away for a little bit, and then it comes back again, I think that's what you're talking about. And you just see that happening kind of often. It could be one of those churn and burn companies where people don't last long. Sometimes those companies are straightforward with what exactly they're looking for you to do. And once people get into those jobs, they realize, like, I'm out. I can't do this. Sometimes companies misrepresent what the actual job is going to be. So still under the umbrella of a churn and burn, they might misrepresent what exactly they're doing. Another reason could be they are looking but haven't found anyone they're really excited about. Maybe the applicant pool isn't that great. So that could be another reason why you see the lead come back. They went through some candidates that they, thought were, possible candidates for the role. And through that process, the courting process of interviewing and the assessments, and, they might find it's not going to work out. So before things get too far along, they say, we'll end the process here and start over again. So maybe not finding the right candidates. Another reason could be, and I was just about to say it and it slipped my mind. Another reason could be, I was just about to say it. Oh, okay, I know. I've seen a company post the same job lead over and over again, but the company, like, itself looked kind of sketchy to me. Like, I don't really think it's a real company. So you might be seeing scams posted over and over and over again. I'm not going to name the name of this company, but I literally see them every time I am on Glassdoor. And it could be a real company, but something just doesn't sit right with how often they have the same job available. And I mean, even companies that are like doing rapid growth, they would just bring in a bunch of people at one time, go through the hiring process, train them, and then maybe like a couple months later open up the lead. So there's a bunch of different reasons why it could be, but all of this is just speculation, and unless we like actually know specifics for what you may be speaking about, Joanne. So hopefully that gives you some insight. So scrolling along here. Okay, the next question I see is from Felicia. She says, what's the best way to apply to jobs with one generic resume? Is it best to create multiple resumes for every job based on that specific job description? Okay, so I like to think about making resumes sort of like a tree with branches. So you have a tree, and I don't have my drawing pad because I'm a visual person. But think about a tree, okay? And the tree has a branch, and sometimes that branch has branches. The best way to sort of kind of cut down on the time it takes to customize a resume if you're looking in multiple places, because maybe you have experience doing customer service work, maybe you have experience doing quality assurance work, maybe you have insurance experience, so you've got like these different types of roles that you have direct experience in, which you would want to highlight different things on your resume about. So in that case, I would say have three generic resumes for each industry. But when you come across a job that you like, you want to always tailor your resume for that job. So instead of having one generic resume that you're tailoring for whichever type of job you want to apply to, you have like a generic for customer service, a generic for quality assurance, a generic for insurance sales rep. And then you can look at the lead and say, oh, okay, this is an insurance job. So I'm going to pull out my generic insurance job, insurance resume. And from there, I'm going to customize it to the job lead. So you can never skip over that customization process, but you can cut down on the time it takes by already having that generic ready. So hopefully that makes sense, Felicia. Okay, what is the best way to negotiate to get the highest pay? This is an excellent question. And I feel like this could be a whole workshop. I could do a whole 2-hour workshop talking about pay and negotiations and things like that. I see people all the time on like Instagram or on, like the shorts and stuff talking about this is how you successfully negotiate, upwards of such and such thousands of dollars. And I'm like, okay, interesting. The first step that I would say, AJ, is you want to have an idea of what people are already getting paid, because it doesn't make sense to go into a job and say, I want to get paid $50 an hour. Wouldn't that be nice? But if you don't know that the top pay in that job only goes up to $15 an hour, you're kind of wasting your time. So this actually happens before you even apply to a job. Like negotiating the pay is something that you do even before you get to negotiation. When you are looking at jobs to potentially apply to, you want to make sure that with what you have in mind for what you want to make, that job potentially could pay that. Because, for example, I used to work at Kmart. You know, I can negotiate flawlessly all I want, but Kmart's not getting ready to pay me $50 an hour to be a cashier. So if that's my goal before I even apply to the job, like this is way before we even get to the negotiation table, I need to see that that job has potential to even pay me what I'm trying to be paid. Okay, you guys with me? So let's pretend like you got to the point where, okay, they pay that kind of money that I'm looking for, and I'm now at the negotiation table. Some things that you want to make sure of is that you are confident that you are the best candidate for the position. If you don't feel like they are missing out because they choose someone else, you got to get your confidence up. And that comes from being skilled and experienced. So once you get to that negotiation table and you know that the company pays within the range of what you're looking for, you confidently tell them that is what I'm looking to get paid. And if they give you any sort of like, oh, I don't know, it's a negotiation and you stand your ground. And that's how you can earn what you are deserving to earn. So it's not like what I feel like I want to make, it's what you deserve to earn. So I've never heard anyone mention that fact before. Like, you want to make sure that you go into it knowing what the company is capable of paying. Because again, I can't say I want to make $50 per hour as a cashier at Kmart, even though I've been a cashier for years and years and years and even done other stuff. They don't pay that. They don't, that position just doesn't pay $50 an hour. So that's very important. So that was a good question. Okay, so the next question I see, what is the best way to look for a job to work from home? So I kind of touched on this, but you want to always start off with what you're okay with doing. And another reason for that is, like I said, you know, desperacy starts to set in. A lot of people don't know, but last time I checked, and this might be only for college students. I'm not sure if this data was looking at everyone, but I remember reading about college students looking for like their careers once graduating. It takes on average about 6 months. So I don't know if that data is for everybody or if they were only looking at college students as their sample size, but that gives you some kind of idea that even the folks who just got their degree and they're supposed to be the best and brightest and the sharpest at what they're trying to do, it can take on average up to 6 months to get hired in that kind of role that you want. So I get most people don't have 6 months to be unemployed or to be miserable at their current job. And the best way that I would say to look for a job is like it's your job. So if you are unemployed and you don't have anything going on, I would get up at, whatever time you normally would get up if you were going to work. So, about 6:30, 7 o'clock, get you your cup of coffee, sit down at the computer and start hitting the job boards. You watch my videos, go to the mega list of jobs on my website, go to Indeed, Glassdoor, Simply Hired, LinkedIn, all of them. Google what kind of jobs you're looking for. You want to put in as many applications as you can. You want the market saturated with your resume and your applications because it's a numbers game. The more applications you have out there, the more chances you have for someone to say, "Ooh, I want to call, so and so for the next step." So that's my advice, and that's what I did. So I'm telling y'all from my own experience when I was looking for my marketing job when I first graduated from college, and then when I was looking for my first remote job, when I got hired to be an SAT, ACT tutor from home, I was putting in applications like I was pulling a shift. That's my best advice for that. Okay, so Angela, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I apologize. You said, what are some good resources to revamp your resume? My resources. Now I know everybody can't, say that they would recommend their own stuff, but I stand on my resume and cover letter courses. If you are trying to like really understand what it takes to make a resume from each, area on it, then I recommend my course remote resume and remote cover letter formula. And you can actually check out those at remoteresume.co. And I just posted the link in the description box. I'm too far up in the chat to, well, actually, maybe I can scroll down and then I can scroll back up. So I'll show it. So it's remoteresume.co. And this is my resume and cover letter mastery courses. So I learned how to make resumes when I was in college. So I was starting off as like someone who was just like, I can never get a job. I struggled. I struggled to even get Kmart to call me. Like it was terrible. I had zero skills. Well, on campus, I went to Georgia State University. On campus, they have career services. And I had to do like the scavenger hunt like my freshman year where you had to go to these different places on campus. So I had seen career services, but I didn't go into career service until like a year later or so. So long story short, I'm in career services and I'm like I'm struggling and they helped me make a resume. And then I said this worked. So I went back to career services and I made another resume. And then I took a career course my senior year, right before I was about to graduate. And I found out that my student fees paid for me to have one on one career counseling. So this was news to me. And then I started meeting with my professor, who was the career counselor for the school that I was in. And so, college has different schools, like the School of Science or the School of Journalism or Public Policy. So I started meeting with her, and she was working with me one on one to learn how to write resumes and cover letters and do interviews and stuff like that. And then, even after I graduated, before I started doing HR or anything like that, I would buy courses from other people who make courses, and I would learn what they taught about writing resumes. So I'm coming with the knowledge of like, I went to somebody who's a professional. I even bought other professional stuff and I put that together in like a what you need to know kind of package. And that's how remote resume and cover letter formula was birthed. So if you struggle with writing your resumes and cover letters, get those courses and you can get them at the website that I just listed on the screen. So that will definitely help you. So I'm going to scroll back up and see where the last question was so that I can not skip people. I don't know where I was. I'm scrolling to see. Okay. Okay. All right, I answered that one. Applying for work from home jobs and eating pizza. That's my kind of Friday. On Fridays in the Benton household, we have pizza, but not this Friday. My baby was not feeling well today, and he stayed home from daycare. And I just gotta tell y'all, I didn't understand this whole being a mom and your kids in daycare or school and they're constantly getting sick thing until now. Because if you guys were at the office party, I had told y'all about, well, I had that cough and I had told y'all that I had gotten sick after having COVID and everything because my baby got sick at daycare. And I'm telling y'all, we've been to the doctor at least once a week since. If we didn't go one week, we were there the next week. I felt like I was pulling a shift at the doctor's office because it's just always something. And folks warned me. They said, "Oh, your baby's gonna be sick if they're in daycare." I said, oh, "Okay, yeah, I'm sure I can deal." But it's just been one thing after the next. So he's just not as energetic, but he's fine. We took him to the doctor and he's got his meds and stuff. And I just wish folks would keep the kids at home when they're sick. But yeah. Okay, I see another question. What do you think about assisted living healthcare system that heals without prejudice, without delay? I don't know what I think about that. I don't know if that's a work from home question or just a general question. I'm not familiar with assisted living outside of, just family members who go or live at an assisted living facility. I don't know about that one, Danny. Which companies are hiring for part-time evening remote no phones? Wouldn't that be nice? Sometimes when I'm reading y'all's comments, I'm like, that would be the job for me to post. I'd love to find that one too. What y'all have to understand is the more like perks a job has, the rarer it is and the more competitive it is. So, part-time jobs are already a challenge. Like there are plenty of part-time jobs, I'm sure, but I don't see, all of the jobs. And when I'm looking for jobs every day, I don't really see part-time all the time. So then on top of it being part-time, it is only at night. And I didn't know people liked working at night, but apparently so. That's like another top requested. And then no phones, that's another one. So each of those individually are sought after. And I would just have to say, if you are applying to jobs like it's your job, you will likely run into one of those, but I would not count on seeing a ton of those leads on a daily basis. If you see one in a week, that would actually be good because, I'm looking at these jobs every day too. I'm looking at jobs like it's my job, and I don't see many of those. Now, I have posted jobs like that before, but they're few and far between. And, right now I'm drawing a blank as to the last time I posted one like that. I'm going to go to my channel really quickly and see if I can spot one. Checking off all of those boxes. I don't know. Maybe it was I might have seen one and posted it recently. No, that one wasn't at night. Yeah, that one was at the in daytime. Yeah, I post so many jobs sometimes I can't remember what all was posted, but you can check my channel, and one way that you can search my channel, because I do have so many videos on here. I'll share my screen so I can demonstrate. But this only works for sure on a computer. And I have my tablet right here. I'm going to see, does it show this option on a tablet? Because I know you can't search channels if you're on your phone, but maybe your tablet too. Give me just a second. I'm looking on my tablet to see if what I'm going to show y'all is an option. No. So you have to be on a computer to do what I'm about to demonstrate. The option isn't there if you're using a phone, and it's also not there if you're using a tablet. But if you are on a computer, and I can share my screen, we're going to go into the tunnel in just a second. What? I can't share my screen. The browser can't access your screen. See, I said this live is going too smoothly, because if y'all have ever caught my lives, they're always train wrecks. I can't share my screen for some reason. I might need to just update my internet browser, but I don't want to get off here and do that. But I'll just explain it verbally. If you are on a computer and you go to my channel, after, like, there's the different things like home, video, shorts, live, playlist, so on and such. After about, you'll see a magnifying glass. If you click on that, it allows you to search my channel in just the videos on my channel, not all of YouTube search. You can type in part-time, you can type in non-phone, you can type in whatever keywords you're looking for. And I make sure that in every single video, I actually write a description of what kind of job I'm sharing for this specific purpose. So if you get on a computer, you can check what have I posted in the past that fits with what you're looking for. And even though those jobs might not actually be open right now, what companies offer that type of role, because not every company offers part-time. Most companies just like I see just full-time, and if it's part-time, maybe it's like in person. Not every company has opportunities at night because some companies don't operate past traditional business hours. So you have to find what companies do, and then you can, keep an eye out for those types of jobs. So hopefully that makes sense. I would have loved to demonstrate, but I can't share my screen for some reason. Someone says, working my work from home job right now. Oh, I need to come back. Just got off and I get off in 2 minutes. Congrats. Yeah, it's time to start your weekend. I know that's right. Get off in a couple minutes. How long have I been on here? Oh, it's been 36 minutes already. I said, oh, I might not be able to get to 30 minutes, but who was I fooling? Y'all know I can chat, which is kind of interesting because I didn't talk as a kid. Like, I was so quiet, and people thought, like, oh, is she weird? Because I just didn't talk. I didn't have anything to say, but I guess apparently now I do. Staying in and binge watching. I need to catch up on my shows. I don't have very many, but y'all are going to judge me. I believe a new season of 600-Pound Life has started, and I love that show. Everyone in my family thinks I'm just bizarre because, they say, oh, it's so depressing. How can you watch those people eat like that? And it's like, I just like it. So, yeah. Okay, so it's been 37 minutes. I know I didn't get to everybody's questions. I know, but I'll have to do this again. Let me scroll down to the new ones because I was all the way at the top from like 30 minutes ago. I didn't even get past like the first 5 questions. Let's see. What are y'all talking about? Yes, dropping them off sick as a dog. I feel bad when in the morning you do the drop off, and I'm like, these babies look like reindeers. The nose is so red, and you can just see they don't feel good. I understand some folks just can't get the time off. I get it. I do. But, and then I won't go there. I won't go there. Also, and I wish I could share my screen, but I have started making shorts where I share more jobs. I didn't make any this week, but it's like an ongoing series that I'm doing, like work from home jobs I almost shared, but I didn't. You know what? Let me actually try, and I'm gonna go away for maybe like 1 minute, but I'm gonna come back because I think I just need to update my browser and then I can show y'all. So give me just a second. I'm gonna update my browser and it might kick me off, but I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's see if I can share my screen now. I think it's gonna work. Okay, I can show y'all what I was talking about with the searching my channel, and I can show y'all what I'm talking about with the shorts that I've been posting on YouTube. So on my channel, and again, this only works if you're on a computer. It doesn't work if you're on your phone or if you are on your like a tablet. But if you're on YouTube from a computer, at the very end, you see this little magnifying glass after about, if you click this, you can search just my videos. So I like, let's say you want to do like a no phone, non phone kind of thing. I'll put like no phone, or sometimes I'll type it as non-phone. So you could type either or, and you could see like what jobs have I ever shared that fit with what you're typing in. So non-phone, no phone, and you see all the stuff that comes up are non-phone jobs. And then I would even do it just to be safe with no phone. Okay, you can do that. You get the point. You could even do part time. You can type in part time and you can see what have I ever shared that is part time. So you can see all the videos that I've shared that are part time. I don't think most people know you can do this on YouTube because most of the time we get on with our phones or tablet. But if you're on a computer, you can do this and you can search through all of my videos for what you're looking for. um Night, that's another one that y'all are looking for. You can see everything that I've posted that is at night, so you can get on here and search through it. And again, like I was saying, you can check out the companies because at least you know what companies hire for that, even if that particular lead isn't open. It likely isn't because y'all shut these leads down before the end of the day. But again, not every company hires for every single thing. The other thing that I was going to show y'all are my shorts. I don't know if YouTube lets folks know if you share shorts or not, but I'm sharing jobs that I didn't post for whatever reason in my shorts. So, for example, if you go to my channel, and you go to the shorts tab, and this is on whether you're on a phone or whatever, you can see I've been doing a little something. But like I'll share jobs that maybe only work for one state, or like there was a work from home pharmacy tech position, and I don't know if people are farm techs. Like I posted one for New York. I know New York is like, folks are always asking about New York, but sometimes I'll come across leads that are only for one state. But if I see a lot of people asking about that, it'll end up in my shorts. So I'm really excited about shorts for this reason, because it allows me to repurpose a lot of leads that I'm like, ooh, I know this would be great for like, maybe 200 people, but I can't post that because I'm trying to post something that will serve the most folks, you know. So like this one from New York, let's see, what was that job? I remember. It'll get to it in just a second. This was for a customer care associate position. And how much did it pay? It paid $19 per hour. Yeah, so check out my shorts. I'm gonna get back on my shorts game next week. But and then also my son hit his head at school. Like I guess he had a blanket over his head and he was like running around and hit his head. So we had to go to the ER. But he was fine. It's just me as oh, I want to make sure he's okay. We had to go. And all they did was like, oh, watch my finger. And she's like, oh, he's fine. Like if you're gonna hit your head anywhere, you would want to hit it where he hit it. And like, he had like the bump, like a nice little goose egg on there. I felt terrible. like, oh, it happened like right before my husband picked him up from daycare, but he's fine. And apparently that's just how little boys do. They get hurt because he's just falling all over the place. Mm. But that's my baby. But yeah, so check my shorts and just watch out for those. So I don't have to go right away. Did y'all want me to like? I don't know if it's boring me answering questions, or did y'all want me to keep going? Because I know there's other questions. I just didn't get to them because I don't want to hold y'all. What do you want me to do? You want me to say hasta la vista and we start our weekends, or do you want me to stay on for like a one complete hour? Because I've been on here for 46 minutes now. What are y'all talking about in the comments? Let me scroll back up. Oh, you want me to stay on? Okay. All right. If you have a question that you want me to answer, please repost it again, just so I don't have to go all the way back up. If you have a question, I see one from Bree Rose right here. She said, "I live in New York. Do you know of any work from home jobs I can do? I know a lot of companies don't hire if you live in New York." I just shared that short. There are companies that hire in New York. I think the impression from a lot of the leads that I share is like New York and California get left out. But there are a ton of companies that operate in New York and California. So it looks like, oh, no one hires you to work from home there. For whatever reason, and I mean, I know the reasons, but a lot of companies can't hire in certain states that have a special legal thing going on. And for California in particular, they are trying to move away from low wage jobs and independent contractor jobs. And I know you're in New York, so it might be for similar reasons because, New York is expensive. But saying all that, I see jobs for New York and California every single day. Make sure you are looking for remote jobs specifically in your state. And I have watched the Ready to Work from Home workshop because the course that I have, I show you exactly how to find jobs for your specific state. Okay, you get a discount and for the price of pretty much for the price of chicken wings. Okay, you buy some chicken wings for you buy some chicken wings for someone else. For the price of that these days, you could pick up all these courses and these are going to help you get hired. I went to the chicken wing store, not yesterday, but last week, because I said I want me some wings. I said $20 for a 10-piece and some fries and a drink. I remember when it was $10, but I'm not going to go off on that tangent. Okay, so sorry, I did go off on a tangent, but there are jobs in New York, Bree. There are, and I just showed one. Okay, I see something where y'all are talking about. I don't know if this is a reply to someone else or if this is just a comment, but this is so true. Working from home is not for lazy people. Okay, and you hit the nail on the head. I wish I had like confetti. Working from home isn't for lazy people and for people who lack reading comprehension skills. You have to be self-driven in much of what you do from home Because remember, nobody's coming in your office at the house looking over your shoulder, correcting you, being able to have a one-on-one conversation with you. A lot of what people are getting as instructions are either like, here is a what's it called, here's a Salesforce document that explains exactly what you're supposed to do. Follow this protocol, or you just need to be able to follow directions, comprehend, and you almost have to have a lot of the skills that it takes to be an entrepreneur to work from home. Seriously, because you got to get up. You got to make sure that you do your work from home commute and sit down in front of that computer and clock in on time. No one's making you do any of that. You have to make sure that you keep up with your work. If there are deadlines, no one's saying, hey, are you halfway done? No. Here's the deadline. Did you meet the deadline? No. Okay, you're in trouble. So this is yes, it takes reading comprehension. You cannot be lazy. Okay, someone said, I would like to ask a question. Anybody can chime in. What kind of work from home jobs are you looking for that will keep you interested in work while you start training to become a data analyst, etc.? It looks like you're looking for like a side hustle, possibly, because it sounds like you already have another job. What kind of work from home job are you looking for that will keep you interested in work while you start training to become a data? This is a very specific question. I don't know if anyone's in this specific scenario, but it looks like you're looking for the kind of job where you can make extra money, might not be able to write home about it. But, in that case, maybe like a 1099 call center, make your own hours around when you're training for a data analyst job. And I have plenty of videos about that. There are a lot of those companies. There's Arise, there's NextRep, there's Working Solutions, there's what's it called? Why is it on the tip of my tongue? Give me a second. I'm gonna look at my video. I cannot say this company's name, and it's like right there. LiveOps. That's the company. I don't know why I couldn't say it. Yeah, there's plenty of companies out there. There's even ones that are kind of sketchy. So there's plenty of things that you can do. That sort of Mod Squad, that's another one I just thought about, but it just all depends what you deem interesting. What are good resume and cover letter sites? Well, I mean, as far as the template goes, you want to focus on easily. So when it comes to resumes and cover letters, you want to make sure that the template that you use is easy to read and it sort of naturally guides the eyes from one place to the next. I recommend my resume template. It works. And, the template is just, I think a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on the template in a different way, where it's like, oh, should it be pretty? Should it have, different colors and stuff going on? But the key thing is you want to make sure that whoever is looking at your resume can find what they need to find quickly and get through your resume and see what they're, trying to see, and they don't have to work hard. So that's what's important with the template. And I would recommend mine. And in fact, and I never talk a whole lot about like stuff on the inside of courses or, course offerings, just because I don't know, I just never do. But I have my own resume and cover letter making software. So if you want to try it out, you can get a $1 trial. Let me get the link. You can make unlimited resumes and cover letters. Let me get the link for y'all. And I have a trial for $1. Yeah, so I have my development team. We made this resume and cover letter software from scratch. and it fits with what I teach on the inside of the courses. So the actual making of the resume and cover letter you can try out, but to learn what to put in it, that's in the courses. So I'm where is that link? Give me just a second. It's in one of my emails. I had to log into my email system to find this. So hmm. Hmm. Where is it? I'm gonna find it because it's somewhere. Oh, I think I know where we have it now. We changed the email template, or not template, but like what we put at the end of the email. It's right here. Okay. So I can share my screen and show you where to go to find it. If you go to my website, okay. If you go to my website, remoteworklife.co, you know, and you click on courses at the top, if you scroll down, you'll see where you can get a $1 trial to my resume and cover letter making software. And if you click on that, you can, do the trial. And this video gives you a demonstration of what it looks like and, all of that good stuff. So if I ever find myself making a resume for someone, I eat my own cooking and I use my resume and cover letter software. So y'all can try that out and see if it helps you speed up the process of making them. So I'll put the link and pin it in the chat so that you can just go directly there. Okay. So that's how you get to the software trial. Oh, I lost my place again in the chat. We're 58 minutes. So let's see, where was I? Yes, this is very true. Make sure your resume is you're writing it like this is the best way you can put it. Like people are always sort of trying to, slam all these keywords into their resume. But, these applicant tracking systems have gotten so sophisticated. And, this comment says it perfectly. Like you want to make sure that you have those keywords there, but you want to also keep in mind a human is going to be reading your resume. And when it gets into the hands of a human, you want to make sure that it reads what you've done. So, yeah, perfect. Mhm. So, yeah, it's a Friday night. My site's not blocked for me. I know Facebook blocks my website. I'm not really sure if anyone else does, but it's crazy because I won't tell that because then I'll go down a different rabbit hole. But I will say that there are some things that you can do on social media and you can show on social media, and that doesn't violate those social platforms code of conduct or whatever they call it. But if you're actually trying to give people news they can use and information that can help them, oh, that gets blocked. So like I can't even send my link to my website in a private message on Facebook. They block it. My husband shares my stuff on Facebook when I post a video, and he'll get banned for a little bit, or like he can't share stuff for a while. Like he doesn't go completely to Facebook jail, but like they put my stuff in like the Facebook black hole. And I don't understand that because I've seen some really horrible things on Facebook. So I don't know. People always talk about like, oh, so and so is a crazy conspiracy theorist, but it really does make you wonder, why is it okay for people to show just nonsense, but when someone's actually talking about, things that could help people like a job, that gets blocked. I don't know, y'all tell me. I don't write resumes. Fun fact, I started writing resumes before YouTube, before like that's actually how I got into pursuing, sharing like career information. I used to write resumes all the time. And what I found was I didn't like writing resumes, not because I couldn't, but and it was just like a personal thing. But for me, I knew people who would pay me money they didn't really have for me to write them a resume for a job that they may get. And I felt bad about that. I was like, dang, we don't even know if you're going to get this job. And, every time you want to apply, you're willing to pay me to write you a resume. And so that's why I actually started making courses, because I said I would much rather teach people how to write their own resumes and cover letters versus always being the one to write it for them. Because what happens if, for example, everybody always talks about Amazon, the Amazon customer service job. I've shared that lead on my channel multiple times. I've shared that lead like at midnight. I saw it, I dropped what I was doing to make the video and shared it with y'all. And within like the hour, the post was gone. Like the lead, you couldn't apply to it anymore. What would happen if you never knew how to write your own resume and cover letter, but you saw an amazing opportunity like, the Amazon job? You wouldn't have time to hire someone to write your resume. And you can't use the same resume over and over again because, I was answering that other question about customization. You have to customize your resume. Think about all the people applying for the exact same job. You can clearly tell when someone is sincerely interested and they read through the job lead and then they went through their resume and cover letter and tailored it, versus when someone just submitted something that they already had, something generic. So no, I don't write resumes and cover letters, but I teach you how to write them yourself. And, that's why. But I know plenty of folks who will take your money and write you a resume. They'll do a good job too. And no shade to anyone. That was just a personal thing. I'm more of a teacher than, just someone who wants to do something as a service. Social media doesn't want empowerment. They want you to stay and watch reels all day. Anything vibrational keeps people on. That made me think about that lady talking about somebody's plate of food. Y'all know the one. But that is so true. They don't want people. elevating. See, if I start talking about this, my live will somehow just disappear. It'll start having tech difficulties. Not that I'm scared, but I want to end this on a good note. Someone said I got rid of Facebook about 7 years ago. Too much racist and other ignorant people. If you are on Facebook for a little too long, and I found, well, I have a habit of saying, my uncle used to say that. I guess I take after my uncle Pee Wee, but he'd always be like, and then tell you a story. But anyway, I have been off of Facebook for a little bit. When I get on Facebook, it is to share my job, the job that I post on YouTube. Will Facebook let people see it? Will I be shadow banned? I don't know. And I get off. Like I've been sort of like off of Facebook for months. And like occasionally I'll get on and just see like, oh, what's going on? I used to get on all the time, but you're taking in so much information. And sometimes that information just makes you start. Oh, my camera. Oh, there we go. Sometimes you just take in so much information, it starts to mess with you. And you see, and I get into scroll hole. I get in the scroll hole and I'm like, what? My thumb hurts. I've been scrolling for how long? That's when it's time to log off. That's when it's time to get off. It's funny. Yeah. So, what does this say? I can't help but wonder if one reason to block helping people find work could be to keep them dependent on financial assistance. I don't know, just a thought. You might be onto something. What's a grifter? I'm not familiar with that term. Maybe I can Google it. A person who engages in petty or small scale swindling. Oh, a scammer. Okay. No, I am not. Even though I get accused of being one. And I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. Not of me, but just of social media in general. A lot of folks put on a white coat, turn on a camera, and pretend to be a doctor. And they do this in every single genre on the internet. A lot of people present themselves as being an expert, and they're not. I live in the Atlanta-esque area. We moved, but we can get to Atlanta in a jiffy, and that's the land of scammers. So I said, don't let this wear off on me. I don't need to be a scammer. I need to be in right standing with God. So, no, I'm not a scammer. Some of those comments aren't showing in chat. What comments? What's not showing in chat? Good night, Glenda. I'm tired too, but it's kind of fun being on here. It's already 1:08. I said I was going to get off 8 minutes ago. I'm just going to finish scrolling through these comments, and then we really do got to part ways. Someone said, I just got my second remote job, and I want to thank you again for the first one for 2 years. You're awesome. Been on Facebook for months also, and I love it. Congratulations, Katrina. Yay. I get asked all the time, like, oh, are these jobs real? Who's actually getting hired? And I guess because I don't show the social proof of like people messaging me or making comments or emailing me that they got hired, that somehow that equates to nobody gets hired. But a lot of folks have gotten hired, y'all. These are real jobs. Good night, Tamisha. You're probably gone already. Yes, good night. Thank you for coming to the live. Yes, I pray everyone lands a job. For flexible work, usually people are referring to like work whenever you want. Those jobs don't actually exist. There are no companies out here that don't need advance notice of you clocking into work. The closest that you can get to those types of jobs, however, are the 1099 jobs where you have the ability to make your own schedule within the scope of that company's operating hours. And most times, those companies have tons of different clients. So if you're looking for something that you can do after your current full time job, there's bound to be a company that offers later in the day hours, and you can, make your schedule accordingly. And of course, there's the, performance that like there's details to it. Like most of these companies incentivize their top agents by giving them first dibs on hours. And then, you also have to keep in mind that sometimes, even if you are, work trying to do a job or an opportunity, I should say, that offers those later hours, if everyone already takes up those time slots, then you might not be able to, choose that. But outside of those scenarios, you really do have that flexibility to make your own schedule. So those are the only that's the only kind of option that you have, other than finding a job that fits with your schedule. And for most folks who are trying to add on to something that they're already doing full time, a 1099 company would be the way to go. But you never know. You might find a company that offers hours that work for you. It just becomes a little bit more challenging the more stipulations you have on what kind of job and the hours and stuff that you do. So I hope that answered your question. Someone selling pipe dreams. Oh, everybody, no one would do that. Hmm. Let's not be messy and say who. A grifter is a scammer. Thank you. Yeah. Many people taking on unauthorized authority. But, can you blame them? Sometimes I say, let me try and understand, because there's so many, like, YouTube has their topics that, get really popular. So, the relationship stuff, for example, everybody and their mama's a relationship expert now. And, you see all the podcast and, you're scrolling through the shorts and you see people, just talking complete nonsense. But guess what? They get clicks and views. And that's why they do it. And YouTube promotes their videos. So these folks haven't had a relationship since the Challenger. They they don't know how to carry on a decent conversation when it's just one-on-one. All they know how to do is rant. And somehow they're qualified to give us marriage advice. So I guess. The saying, don't hate the player, hate the game, or is it the other way around? I don't know. People are trying to pay bills. So I just say it's a tough world. Maybe that's why they're doing it. Oh, I see a ton of these. Office, clerical, admin, payroll, billing jobs. There are a ton of those jobs. But if you're talking about videos, which it sounds like specifically, then I share those. I actually shared an admin role yesterday, but that lead closed. And something else, I see people put in comments like, oh, it's only for internal employees or something. For some reason, when companies close their job leads, sometimes they switch the lead to saying it's only for like internal, but it was for external employees. That's kind of neither here nor there for your question, but I had just thought about that. But yeah, I do post those. As far as payroll goes, I don't typically post those jobs, but I will start putting those in my shorts. How about that? Because I do have people wanting like HR type positions, but I just don't know if the demand in my particular audience is there. So Shamari, check my shorts. I'm gonna try and find one and share one this week. I'm gonna try and hold myself to that. Just like I said, I was gonna get on live, and here I am. You have to be a pro with that computer. I know the computer can be exhausting, but you're working from home, so the computer is all you literally have. So you say your neck and carpal tunnel. I understand you for carpal tunnel, or I mean, I know this isn't going to fix it, but a lot of times, and I feel like I'm nerdy or something talking about this, but you can actually get office injuries. Our desk and stuff are hard. If we're not sitting with lumbar support, our back's going to be on fire. Even with like your keyboard, like this is a pad that I have for my keyboard, so it supports my wrist while I'm typing. Things like that can definitely help take off the pain and avoid the pain and stuff. Blue blocking glasses, when your eyes are getting tired, it keeps, and those are just good in general if you look at a computer screen all day, because looking at a computer can really deteriorate your vision. Um, Leg support, feet support, even just something as simple as putting a pillow under your feet and, investing in a really good chair. I was just getting on to my husband about that because the chair he is using is my old chair. And I said, we've had that chair for some years now. Things get worn out, especially if you're sitting there working for 8 hours a day. So I said, you need to get you a chair. So he's going to get him a new chair, but your back will start hurting from sitting. And you think, why is my back hurting? Because, maybe you've not blown out the cushions, but things wear out. You can't use the same chair for 5-10 years. So, upgrading your office equipment can definitely help with that. And, getting treated for it. So yeah, I understand. Someone said some of the comments about Facebook that you were reading on the screen were not showing up in the chat. They probably shadow banned them. Probably. I don't know. I'm on someone else's platform, so I guess I got to play by their rules. I think everybody hates this when you put in your resume and you think it's going to auto populate, but you still have to put in your info. I know. I have never heard of that company. I would recommend maybe like trying Glassdoor, maybe Googling and hearing about them or seeing about them. But I haven't run into Upcall before. Yes, I always recommend a cover letter. Yes. Okay. I know I said I was gonna go through the rest of the comments, but we really do need to retire for the evening. I'll get on live again soon. I'm gonna hold myself to that. So thank you all so much for showing up. I know I didn't answer every single question, but I wanted to show my face. I haven't showed my face in 2023, other than in my reels or my shorts or whatever they call them on YouTube. But I want to get on here and connect with you guys. So, God willing, I'll be back on Monday with my latest work from home job for y'all. And, make sure you tune in for the shorts. And thank y'all. Good night. Have a great weekend.